So really it started Wednesday night was when the creek started to rise and we started to move. We moved my husband's truck down where we thought it was going to be safe, and the boat. And then we woke up the next morning because our friends had called us and said there was flooding. And we were like, oh, maybe it washed over our culvert. But it completely took out our culvert. And then our other car at that point, it was probably like 6:30 or 7, the other car was hanging off the cliff, like about 2 tires were hanging off. And so we tried to pull it out with my Subaru, and it just couldn't do it. So about 20 minutes later to an hour, it finally rolled into the creek. I mean, the water just kept like eroding away at the land, and it just kept cutting back and cutting back. We had a shed out front that got taken right after the car, and then the power went, so we had no connection to the outside world. It was probably like 7 or 8 at that point. And then we went inside. We have a 3 and a 4-year-old, so trying to keep it as normal as possible. Cooked breakfast, and then a wall of water came down at about 10:30 or 11, and I apparently screamed because people around here had heard it and got out of the way. But I apparently screamed, and it came down and washed away the car that was already in the creek and just filled up the entire road, like from this bank to that bank, and that's when it just kept cutting out faster and faster. We lost a shed in the back then, and that's when we packed our bags and we're like, we gotta at least be ready in case it keeps eroding. Then at about 4, the river caught a foothold on the other side and just started cutting back really fast. And at that point, we were like, we've got to go, and we've got to go now.